I'm Carl with Haunt365, and today we're going to be unboxing and setting up the Victorian Vampire, also known as Nosferatu. Definitely something that everybody's been speculating about and talking about since Home Depot had their manager meeting back in April. We only had a couple of photos that, honestly, they weren't really good pictures. You couldn't really tell. There was always some kind of obstruction in the way, or it was a weird side angle. But you know what? We were all correct in our assumption that it was Nosferatu. And then we didn't even get to see this guy in action or anything until Home Depot did their online drop last week. So I know how excited you all are to actually see this guy in action. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get this guy unboxed and check him out. Let's first check out the box dimensions for this guy in case anybody's curious or wondering and trying to figure out how to transport this guy from the local Home Depot. So he is 26.5 inches wide by 13 3/4 tall and 20 3/4 deep. All right, so we got the base labeled A, the boots labeled C, and again, these are these kind of like heavy duty plastic boots. These are definitely gonna fare well, a lot better than those thin little plastic ones that they use for the clown feet. I don't know why every animatronic that's a clown has these chintzy, plastic, thin clown feet. These things are fantastic. These are heavy duty. You've got his outfit that's labeled K and R. You can't really see it on the through the packaging on this one. I think you gotta open it up first, but this is definitely his clothes. You got the leg foam labeled F. You got the lower body frame labeled H. This one's actually looks like it's been crushed in a little bit. Yeah, sometimes in the packaging, this stuff gets beat up. You got the back frame labeled Q. You got the hip hoop labeled I. The right arm labeled M. The left arm labeled L. The lower leg poles labeled B. The upper left leg pole labeled D. The upper right leg pole labeled E. The upper body frame with the control box labeled J. As you can see, you've got a ton of wires sticking out over here. So it's got a ton of hookups. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 different wires. So keep that in mind. Also, it looks like you've got the volume control over here, which again, I love that. I love that you can turn the volume down, but still have the animatronics and the movements. Because sometimes the voices just are obnoxious and you don't want to hear it. You just want to see the animatronic move. So we're going to find this out once we get this thing hooked up. But it also looks like it's got the same kind of controls where you can either have it on a sensor or you can have it where it's just constantly in motion, constantly going through all of the cycles. You've got the hands. They're labeled N and O. Rah! Do I look like a Nosferatu to you? Ha ha! Why did I sound like a French guy? I sounded like the candle from Beauty and the Beast. You got the white box with the power adapter labeled S. And then you've got this awesome looking head labeled P. The details, I mean, the eyebrows, they feel like fuzzy little caterpillars or something. It's like a latex mask almost. Let's look at the detail on the teeth. You got the yellow teeth. You got these eyes that will just look through your soul. And then you've got 2 hookups coming out of his head that I'm assuming are one is for the eyes and the other one's maybe for the mouth. Now that we got all the parts out of the box, let's take a quick look and see what they look like all laid out. All right, now for the fun part. Let's put this guy together. To start, we got the lower base A. You want to make sure that the pole that's further to the front is going to be to your left as you're looking at him. Then you've got the lower leg poles labeled B. You're just going to go and snap them into that lower base right there. Then we've got the boots labeled C. What you're going to do is there's actually holes in the bottom of the boots, and you're just going to slide them down each of those poles. Then you've got the upper leg poles labeled D and E. D is going to get hooked up to the leg here that's further back. E is going to get hooked up to the leg that's further forward. Then we've got this leg foam labeled F. We're just going to slide those down the legs. Then you got the pants, they're labeled G. What you're going to do is you're just going to slide each leg down like so. Also, one thing to note, there's a little tag on the back of the pants. That way you know which is the front and which is the back. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Then you got the lower body frame labeled H. You got 2 poles here that are going to hook up to the 2 leg poles. Now we got the hip hoop. It's labeled I. It actually has these kind of little nubs here, and there's a couple of little holes on this lower body frame that you're going to use, and you're just going to kind of slide this down. That way it kind of gives them a little bit of substance. Then it says to pull the pants over the hip hoop. Then we've got the upper body frame with the control box labeled J. We're going to just take this pole and snap that in, like right here. There is a ton of wires. So there is a cord coming up from that lower body frame that we're going to have to figure out which one goes to what. All right, so one of those cords goes to the lower body frame. One of the cords goes to the upper body frame. And then I believe 2 of the cords are going to go to the head. And then that 5th cord is the sensor for the motion sensor that you're going to, from what it looks like, you're going to have it on his chest or something. So then it says you want to plug the adapter into the function box control. My guess is it's trying to be proactive because you're about to put the shirt on and it might not be as easy to do once the shirt and all that's on. So you're going to do that next. Then you've got his shirt. It's labeled K. One thing that I noticed in the front, there's a hole, and I don't know if you can even see it. And it says sensor here. So that sensor that's hanging from one of those wires is going to come out right here. So if you want this guy to be motion censored, you're going to want to make sure that you're paying attention to that. Then we got left arm L. You've got these 2 little prongs here, and they're actually going to sit down into a couple of holes in the upper body frame. Then you're going to want to do the left hand. It's labeled N. Same thing, you got these kind of prongs there. Also, it's got this metal locking pin. That way the hand doesn't just go flying in the animatronics as he's moving around. Then we've got the right arm labeled M. Same thing, we've got these 2 metal prongs that we're just going to kind of set down into that upper body frame. Then we've got right hand O. Same thing, we got these little metal prongs that you're going to set down into those holes. You've also got this little metal locking pin right here that you'll use that'll hold that into place. Now we've got the head labeled P. So we're going to go, same thing, you've got a couple of little prongs here that you're going to set this down in. And then we got these 2 wires we're going to hook up. Now we've got the back frame. You're going to go and you're going to take these 2 prongs and you're just going to set that into the upper body frame. So then we've got this collar labeled R. We're going to go and put that in the front, kind of cover up, because right now some of this animatronics and stuff is kind of showing through. So we're going to fix that real quick and we're going to cover that up with the collar. All right, here's the moment we've all been waiting for. Let me introduce you to Nosferatu. So, I mean, the attention to detail on this, I mean, just look at the wrinkles, the yellow teeth, and then, you know, his eyes light up. On top of that, you got these fuzzy little caterpillar eyebrows that, I mean, I think it really just finishes him off. The coat that he's wearing is pretty cool. I mean, just look at his fingernails and his fingers. He's got 6 different phrases. Let's check those phrases out.
Nosferatu, life shall fade to pallid shade as I sup upon your blood. I am the embodiment of thy most profound fears, preying upon the frail veil of humanity. as I dwell, forever bound by the thirst that courses through me. Your mortal existence is but a fleeting specter in the face of mine immortality. Hast thou heard the whispers in the night? They speak to your impending doom. With every drop of blood I consume, my power grows stronger, and I resist dull pain. Now embrace the darkness within thee, for it is the darkness that shall set you free. Beware, the name alone shall chill your blood. Nosferatu. The dark caves, graves, and coffins of which I reside are filled themselves with the cursed earth from the fields of the Black Death. Soon you shall lie there too.
Two of those phrases, he says the word Nosferatu. So I think that's cleared up now that this guy, even though he's quote unquote a Victorian vampire, he is without a doubt Nosferatu. It's the name that everybody chills when they see it. It's Nosferatu. So if you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this guy. Until next time, stay spooky, my friends. Cheers.